All right, Bowie, what's happening? It's Timmy B here, trying to give you a little something to help you figure out this Socrative business. It's awesome, right? I've used it, as you know, for a couple of years and have found it to be a really good time saver. So I already pulled the little window open over here at www.socrative.com. Okay, so if you want to get started on this from a teacher's perspective, first thing you got to do is go in and create an account. So you come in, you'll teacher log in, create your account. I've already got my stuff in here, so I'll heads up and go. You can also sign in with Google if your district, is one of the like G Suite for Educator groups, whatever, like we are here at Caddo. But here we go. So now that I'm in, you got a couple of different things that you can do, right? But first thing, you would want to create a test, right? So you would come to the quizzes tab, right? And then you're going to add quiz. You're going to click create new, right? So you can come in and say create new quiz. You're going to give it a name. So let's call we'll call it U.S. History Standard 1, right? Aligned to standard, subject, and you're just going to go through here and make your selections based off of your needs or whatever. So I'm going to come down. They have a lot of these in. If you're in Mississippi, where are you? Mississippi. So there's your state frameworks that are in there. Let me go back up to my stuff right here. Gonna kind of come down, pick your subject as it relates, and then I'm about to start post World War I. So for me, I'll put that one in there, 4.1. Now this is just me to you, right? When I first started this thing, I used to have constructed response questions in here in a mixture of GLEs. You can certainly do that, but for time management's sake, the way that I do it now, I keep all of my questions per standard so that whenever I go back to look at my data, it's a true number. It means that if my class average is 85%, then it actually means that 85% mastery of GLE 4.1, whatever. So that's just kind of a tip from me to you. If you have any written or constructive response items that you need to do in there, I separate those out and do them separately so it doesn't muck up any of my data analysis in Socrative. But let's get to the meat of it and show you what you can do. These are your question types. I stay away from the short answer in Socrative. Maybe it works for you, whatever. But I kind of live in this multiple choice section here. So you can come in, pick an image. Let's do what are we gonna do? Let's pick something in here. I don't know. Do you think that Rick Ross would be appropriate? I'm thinking not. Here's a Nazi deal, whatever. I don't know. You pick your image, put it in there. Is the following political cartoon pro or anti Nazi party? Whatever it is. Like I don't have a good deal. Yes, no, maybe, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you're gonna do. Move it out. Let's see, pro or against. Well, so pro, against. And I wouldn't do it. This is a horrible question, but anyway. Let's just call it GLE, and this one is actually 1.5 plus whatever. Put your right answer, right, and that's your key, and then you're going to move on to the next question, right, and so forth and so on. Now what I like to do is I pull up information. Let's look at like here. You can go to link it through Quizlet. Here's this one through the Stanford History Group, right? You can pull your questions from some outside resource, whatever your state has, documents, whatever, and start to build up your question bank in here. But from me to you, I would keep it all in one standard family, right, just for data analysis purposes. But anyway, that's it. And this is kind of what, this is kind of what things look like after the fact, right? So let me go. I got 3.1 standard 2 assessment. This was a big one for standard 2. Let's go 3.1 and 3.2, right? This is kind of what it looks like, right? I put the GLE up front so we know what we're talking about. And then I run in and just kind of build it up, okay? So let's just say you got your test, right? So then you were going to want to go launch. You're going to launch it so your kids can take it. I'm going to launch this one. Boom. So you can come in, you have options in how to do this, right? Choose the delivery method. So I'm going to say open navigation. I require their names, shuffle questions and answers, and show the final score. This makes it harder for them to cheat over here. Ready, set, go. Now that this will pop up, right? So you want to get your percentage. Let's keep it off. You get show answers on here. So as they continue to answer this stuff, right, you're going to see their scores pop up in here real time for however many students that you have. It's a very cool feature. I love it, right? Let me get out of here and I'll show you what it looks like, okay? Let's see, reports, okay? So standard, let's go back and look at another one. See, I got their names blacked out here, but you can run in and see, same test back in the beginning of October. I can run down and I can look at my total percentages for each question. Now remember what I said in here. If you tag your questions with what GLE they're aligned with, right, 3.2, then I know that right here 90% of 86 students, right, 90% are coming in getting this one right. So I'm happy with that, right? 59% I'm not happy with, right? So I got to go back and figure out, did I screw this up, or did they screw this up, or what do we got to do, right? So that's kind of the benefit of it, and that's how I see. Let me back out of this and I'll show you how to do it, right? So you're going to come launch it, like I said, whatever. Now the kids, let me get back to launching this thing, right? Standard one, next, instant feedback, or I'm sorry, open navigation, boom, 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 ready, set, go. Now what you're going to do, this is what it'll look like from a kid's perspective, right? So let's go to Socrative, right, log in. Let's do it for student so it doesn't mess me up here. Socrative student, log in. Room number name, you got to have your room name, minus 313 WLA. Come in, let's say, Bowie, right? Rosner. Got it. So here you go. Now watch what happens, okay? So I got you here. See, you just popped up in my class. Student comes in. Which statement describes the similarity between U.S. intervention in Hawaii and the Philippines? Let's just put anything, right? Boom. So you pick it. Oh, I didn't submit. Boom. Okay, and boom. So you got it wrong. So it'll red it wrong, or green for good, right? 2. 1898, U.S. annexed Hawaii. How did the annexation further U.S. involvement in international affairs? The Pacific Report for trade and military purposes. Let's check that one out. And boom, boom, right? D, you got it right. So what happens is all of your students will populate over here. And if you have your tablet or you got your at your desk or whatever, you'll have real-time data, right, that you can come in here and do. The upside, you can have 2 tests created and to help with your accommodations, right? Like so, maybe for kids that are 504 or SPED for you, instead of having 4 multiple choice questions to help with time, you edit their test to make it shorter or give them fewer options, whatever. But that's really it in a nutshell, Bowie. I hope it helped. These things are really good for freeing up teacher time for grading and analysis and all of that good stuff. I hope it helps you, lady. Good luck to you over there in Mississippi, and holler at me if you need anything. Deuces.